Welcome everyone to today's Sunday Stock Watch. So let's get right into it. First things, we got to start off with some economic data for this upcoming week. So Monday, no news Monday. Be very careful when trading. First, I want to preface that Trump did increase tariffs on, I believe, Mexico, Canada, and Europe over this past weekend by 30%. I could be a little incorrect on that, so do fact check me. But the market did open a bit lower because of that. But we do have a no news Monday. We could either chop around at these levels or, how the market's been acting is extremely bullish. So that could happen as well. So no news Monday, be very careful. Then Tuesday, we have CPI data. Awesome. So CPI is going to be pre-market 1 hour before the market opens. That'll be quite interesting. We'll see how the market will take that. Maybe bullish. I don't know. We've just continued higher and higher, so we'll see. Wednesday, we have PPI data. So again, be very cautious on Wednesday. I would not hold any swing trades through Monday or Tuesday night either before data. Don't do that. Then Thursday, we don't have too much going on. We have some initial jobless claims, retail sales, and then we do have a couple Fed speakers. Friday, not a whole lot going on Friday. Housing starts, building permits, consumer sentiment, which will be important. But overall, Tuesday and Wednesday will be the two most important days this week. I'm not sure why CPI is on Tuesday instead of Wednesday and why PPI is on Wednesday instead of Thursday, but whatever. So let's take a look at overnight, see how we're looking currently. We have Qs trading down a little bit at 552.40. We got Tesla sitting around 315. I like to see that. I really like Tesla, and we'll go over that. MSTR, obviously, and coin just ripping up because Bitcoin is, again, at all-time highs. So we got those two just continuously ripping. We got NVIDIA down slightly. Mostly, I would say unchanged. Just a little bit of downside. So let's get right into it. So yeah, from Friday close, we're literally down about $1 currently. Nothing crazy on QQQ. So kind of hard to be what I'm supposed to be expecting this week since we have CPI on Tuesday, PPI on Wednesday. But going forward with this week, I would love to see price trade down into that 550 even to 546 area, and then get a bounce back up from there. That's what I'm looking at on Qs. So I really do want to see some downside for a little bit. But this depends on CPI news. If CPI comes out and it's amazing, we're just going to see the market rip. If CPI comes out poorly, we may not see a bounce at these levels. We may just continue lower. It just all depends on what data is going to show and what the market wants to do with that data. As of right now, it seems like the market will just want to continue ripping. We may see some downside and then get a bounce from there. That ideally is what I'm looking for. Another thing that I'm looking for is we get some upside. We tap back into all-time highs and we reject the area like we've done multiple times. So we made this all-time high on July 3rd. We've tapped into it now twice and gotten rejects from there. So we could see that again. We could see that rejection. Kind of like either way I'm looking towards. So either rejection at that all-time high. If we break above, that means CPI news was amazing and we're just going to rip. Or we see some downside and we get a nice bounce at these lower areas. 550 ideally is what I'm looking at. And then if we do break below 550, I definitely think we could see price trade easily back into that 546 area on QQQ. So next thing, SPY, same sort of thing. We, ripped up to all-time highs. We did actually slightly break above all-time highs this past week on SPY, QQQ. So that is something really important to note and to take into account. That SPY broke its all-time high from July 3rd, and Qs did not. Qs got a reject at that area. So we'll see. That could be a sign if we do trade higher up to that area. We could see a continuation, or again, another reject. But like I'm already said, and like I'm looking for across the board, I would love to see SPY take, a little bit of a downside move and get a bounce from there. So ideally, first break I want to see is that 620 area, which we're already pretty close to, currently trading at 621.46. So we're pretty close to that area already, but I would like to see a break there and then trade down into hopefully 618 to 615 range and see a bounce from that area. Tesla. I love Tesla right now. If we can continue this wonderful, beautiful trend, and we're currently sitting up at 316, I'm super long on Tesla for this short week, for this short time being, for this week. If we go onto the 4 hour, we have been continuously at least holding up to 90 area. We have not gotten, a break below that range in quite a while, in about a month now. And we've gotten really nice bounces from that area. So I absolutely love Tesla. I think this one is really great for this coming week for some bullishness on it. But ideally, yes, so we are above 315. But if we do trade back into this 320 to 330 area, we could see some chop, which is not what I want to see. I want to see a clear break of structure, clear break of those levels like we got not too long ago, multiple times. Over here, that's what we got. Over here, that's what we got. So that's what I'm looking to target this week, is that upside on Tesla. So ideally going to take Tesla calls above 321 area. That's the range that I really like. As long as we are super bullish and continuing up, that's what I want to see. If we are going to chop within there, that'd make me very angry. Not really. I would just be like, oh well. But yeah, swinging Tesla as well. I mean, I have a lot of shares, but I wouldn't be opposed to swinging a couple contracts that are a little bit further out. Obviously not this week's expiration, but we'll see. Keep my Discord updated on that. Nvidia, what are these doing here? Let's get these out of here. Remove. Okay, so Nvidia, obviously all-time highs. We're currently sitting around 164.82, very unchanged from Friday. So ideally, I would like to see us trade back into 160 area on Nvidia and get a bounce up from there. If we break that area because CPI news is bad, whatever, blah, 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 Trump wants to continue talking about tariffs, then we break below that area, we could see easily into 157 to 155. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. But ideally, the biggest thing I'm looking for this week is downside and a bounce. Downside and some sort of bounce. Or next case scenario, market opens higher tomorrow, we tap into all-time highs, we get some nice downside from there as well. There's a lot of ping pong you can be playing within these ranges that we're currently getting between all-time highs and the current range we've set for the past week or two. So take that into account. Next thing that I'm going to look at, coin and MSTR is going to be a little bit difficult if Bitcoin just continues ripping. These will continue ripping as well. So I'm honestly not going to be taking a look at those for this next week. There's a lot of hype on Bitcoin right now, and you could get caught up in that. So we'll see. Netflix. Let's take a look at Netflix. So obviously, lots of downside from that all-time high area. We've made about $100 move down since we've tapped into this 1,340 area. I would like to see Netflix get a bounce, but I don't know if we will see a bounce from this range. Ideally, I do want to see a bounce from 220 area, 225, tap into those lows, get a bounce from there. I don't think we're going to be dropping below 1,200 anytime soon, at least for this short time being, so we'll see. But yeah, that's what I would like to see on Netflix. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot that I'm watching for this next week. Let's take a look at Hims. I'm holding a lot of shares of Hims right now that I'm thinking about cutting pre-earnings, but I don't know yet. I'm not sure. But yeah, Hims is currently sitting at 48.50. So I do really like that area, but we have been chopping within this range. But we haven't seen any significant closes below 45 in a bit since we got that first initial huge downside. So I do really like that, but I'm kind of just waiting for the perfect moment of Hims to break back above, back above 5180, 52 area and just start to rip up higher. That is what I'm looking for. That is what I'm waiting for. So keep that in mind on Hims. Next couple of things, yeah, not too much else, honestly. I can't lie. Google was looking pretty strong this past week. What are we sitting at? Okay, so Google is not there. One second. What? Hello? Oh, Google added. My bad. Okay, so where's Google at? Google's sitting at 179.50. Google was looking very strong this last week. I would love to see us trade, if we could, into 175 and see a nice bounce back into 180 from there. That is ideally what I want to see on Google. Or we could, do normal Google things and chop around or just get random downside. Amazon was a big name I was taking a look at last week. I don't love it. It made this very slow move up. That is not what I like to see. What are we currently sitting at on Amazon? I believe we are currently sitting at, am I blind? Oh, no, it's right there. 224.02, so pretty unchanged from Friday. We could just see regular Amazon movement kind of chop us around and get no entries, but I would love to see us trade into 221, even 219, and take some calls from there if we can get a strong bounce and close. But yeah, that is all that I'm watching for this week. Honestly, not a whole lot on the agenda as of right now because of CPI and PPI data coming out on Tuesday and on Wednesday. So be very cautious going into this next week. Have a set plan. Don't deviate from that plan. If you don't see your setup, you don't see it, don't take a trade. That's really what I want to say to you guys. And be very careful. Do not trade through news. Do not trade through Trump saying some crazy ass shit. I would be, close to being hands off. Being at all-time highs, it's going to be pretty difficult to trade, so you have to be extremely selective, know exactly what you want to see. So yeah, just be careful, and I will see you guys all later. Thank you so much for watching my Sunday Stock Watch. My full trading strategy video will be out shortly. So thank you guys, and I'll see you all later.